listening to Unmuted with Papamutes.
Welcome to Papamutes, everybody. Today, my guest is Jayson Johnson. Jayson is a filmmaker, director, producer, screenwriter, and founder of Strike 5 Films. He's coming to us from the Bay Area. I'm thrilled to have him on. Jayson, welcome to Papamutes.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So I hate to ask the typical questions, but unfortunately, I'm going to start off with what got you involved with the fascination of film? And by that, I mean, like, my father had a home movie camera, and I was like, wow, this is cool. When I was little, as soon as I got into high school and could afford a movie camera, I bought a Super 8 movie camera. So not what you're doing now, but, initially, what grabbed you and said, yeah, I want to grab some images, some film, tell us about that.
Well, I think it started when I was a kid. I always watched movies and soap operas with my mom. So there was just like that inherent love there. But what really grabbed me was when I was in college, I was getting a master's degree in communication studies. And we were up late one night studying, and I was just like, I got to get up and take a break. And I went in the hallway and I saw a casting call for this movie called Empire of Danger. And I said, that looks pretty interesting. So I applied for it. I auditioned in the library, and I was cast as Siberian Guard number 2. And
Sweet.
That whole experience just hooked me from there.
Now I'm going to fast forward. You started to work at a winery, but you did not know it was Francis Ford Coppola's winery, correct?
That's right.
Eventually, you met him, and what was your impression of him after you met him? In other words, you meet him. You have people have this public perception of people sometimes. What was your impression of him after you met him?
When I first met him, I was kind of starstruck, so I didn't really say much to him probably for the first 4 or 5 days that I worked with him. I just kind of kept my head down. But as I got a chance to know him and talk to him more, I just really found that it's really true what they say. He's somewhat of a maverick. He's really creative. He's got like all these ideas, and he'll even steal ideas. We were working on this project, and it was making a corkscrew and it was making a fork and a corkscrew hybrid, and we called it the fork screw. And I remember working with my creative director at the time to draft up a mock-up on paper, and then we made one physically. And so we gave it to him, and then he said, "Oh, this is my idea." He was showing it off to someone and passing it off as his own idea. So I thought that was pretty funny, but he was just like, the Godfather stole one of our ideas. So I just thought it was kind of cool.
Did he give you any? I don't know. I don't know if you eventually talked about film and stuff like that and the career in that direction.
He did. He gave me an opportunity to work on. We had this traveling road show where we toured 15 or 16 states, and we all kind of piled in like this van and drove across the America, going state to state. And he gave me an opportunity to be a prop master on that project. And so that was the first time I'd ever done that and gotten paid for it. I'd kind of done it like making like my own little short films, but that was kind of like my first foray into like filmmaking and kind of that entertainment industry. So I thought that was really cool.
Did you ever meet his daughter, Sophia?
I did actually. After that road show, I worked on. She was making a film called Marie Antoinette, and they were doing the post-production sound on the property, and it was mostly just myself as a PA to the post-production team. And then one day she popped in, and she's really shy, quiet, and really reserved. But and I just kind of said hi and stuff like that because I'm a peon at this point.
Right.
But yeah, it was kind of cool seeing her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking she's a good connection. I mean, I don't know if you've touched base since, but
No,
Yo,
what I kind
Sophia,
of
hey,
realized,
this is Jayson.
yeah.
Remember me? Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
help
think
me
it
out
works
here.
that way.
Oh man. So I mentioned I told you I was going to bring this up. One of my favorite under the radar films is Sorry to Bother You.
Okay, yeah.
I I mean, every time I mention
Bonkers
to
film.
people the film, I mean, I tell this to people. Have you seen this movie? They're like, no, no, no. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, you got to watch this movie. Anyway, how, how did you get involved with that? I knew you were maybe an extra or something in there. What's going on there?
Yeah, so I was actually the assistant to the director. So I was the one that would hold like the camera and in between takes. And if he needed anything, I would communicate that to the producers. And when it came time for me to be in the film, the assistant director kind of looked me up and down. I guess they needed some extra people to be in the film.
Hmm.
So they said, "Why don't you go ahead and stand there?" And at the time, I had this yellow like poncho with I can't remember if I had a hat on or not, but it's the scene right when he comes out of the bar and he's talking to the football players.
Okay.
And I get some pretty good screen time, probably about 20 seconds worth of time in that movie.
I'm going to watch
Just
that
standing
again
in
just
it.
because
Yeah.
it's so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to give it away, but it's so bizarre. The first half is like, okay, I get it, and then the second half is like, what the? It's so. Anyway, but there were some people in there. Terry Crews, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Terry
Um,
Crews, Lakeith
Danny Glover.
Stanfield. Yeah. Danny Glover.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm forgetting her name now. She's a big name actress. Um,
Where was
uh,
that shot?
that was shot in Oakland, actually.
Okay. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
just 5 miles from here. Yeah.
now how'd you get on board with that? Like for people that are just curious how you get on board sometimes.
Yeah. So in most cities, they have kind of like a um, local film community.
Hmm.
And I got into the film community by doing location management. So, I'll find like a location where the crew can film at, etc. And then you just kind of meet people. So, um, in between
Networking. Yeah.
gigs, yeah, in between gigs, I had a friend that I had previously worked with, and he said, "Help! Help! I need a PA on this film, and I know I can trust you." So, I came on, and first I started in wardrobe, and then once that kind of stabilized, then they kind of just chose me to be the assistant to the director.
I mean, that's how you wear different hats. You're just like happy to do
I'm just
whatever.
happy to be there. Yeah.
Right. Right. Great film. I mean, just oh god, too funny. So your Strike Five films. How did that come
hmm
about? Why Strike Five? And just all that info. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so Strike Five is kind of like a mantra that I have, and people that collaborate with me is that you may strike out a lot in life. The old
Mhm.
adage is if you strike out 3 times, you're out. But anyone that's really gone and tried to do like their own endeavor, you're going to strike out way more than that. So that's kind of paying homage to that. That we're going to keep striking until we hit pay dirt, and that's where Strike Five was kind of the name of was kind of birthed out of. And yeah, I started in 2011, I want to say,
Okay.
and it was mostly because at the time I was an aspiring actor. That's what I thought that I wanted to do,
Right.
and I
Hey.
would go to all of these casting calls, and they would say you, not you, Jason, and then go down the line. So I was really
Wow.
frustrated. I was frustrated because I felt like I had some talent, and I knew that I had a lot of passion for this. So I started to kind of write my own projects, and I would insert myself into those projects. Um, so that's kind of how that started.
Let's